I should start. You just want to watch your kids walk across the stage. Wow, high school graduation. It seems like just yesterday that we were sitting uncomfortably in the unfairly hot sun, pretending to care what an 8th grader had to say about middle school. And now here we are, 4 years later, pretending to care what I have to say about high school. Time flies when teachers constantly insist to you that you're having fun. Speaking of teachers, I should take this chance to make the obligatory grad speech remark that they really did form the backbone of this fine institution. From the countless periods they spent trying to figure out a smartboard, to the extra hours they stayed after school those days going over the apparently crucial problems that we didn't get to in class, I think I speak for everyone when I say our teachers gave us some of our most treasured memories. Their guidance and instruction will undoubtedly serve us well as we go on to the next phase of our lives. But before we take that step, it's important, or so I'm told, to look back on the last 4 years and remember all the good times. Don't look too closely, you'll ruin it. But at just the right distance, if you squint your eyes the perfect amount, some semblance of nostalgia over the years spent at this beautiful, beshingled campus may emerge. Remember showing up 2 days before everyone else for the nonsensical boot camp that was freshman orientation way back in the mystical time of 2008? How about suiting up every day for PE, or not suiting up, as the circumstances may have dictated, until the magical day that marked the beginning of your very first prep? And who can forget the time that a certain friend of yours didn't invite you to her birthday party in 9th grade, and then put all the pictures on Facebook the same night? Maybe that one was just me. Sorry. In all seriousness, though, change is always hard, especially when you have to change out of clothes that were starting to feel pretty comfortable. Middle school was the awkward phase for most of us, but high school became something much better, something much more real. Most everyone carved out a niche, whether it was as the guy who never left the student activity center for petty reasons like having class, or maybe as the girl who challenged the dress code every day with her sparse wardrobe choices, or even as that one cynical kid with a mediocre blog. Leaving it all behind is no small task because, fine, Gunn administration, you win, we did end up having kind of a nice community here. There's nothing quite like senior year to convince you that high school is really great, and then, in the same breath, rip it out from underneath and never give it back. All this, is over. Coming to terms with that reality is something I'm sure a lot of my classmates are still grappling with right now. I know I, for one, certainly am. Because as much as we can remind one another in our yearbooks to keep in touch and stay close by, and if we are lucky enough to be friends with the really cool kids, hags, we'll never be able to replicate these 4 years now that they're over. We'll stay in contact, sure, in as much as sending awkward, here's what I've done lately in college Facebook messages is staying in contact. And we'll still see the people we really want to see. But we won't be back here, all of us together, again. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not even the day after that. So take a second to look around and appreciate all this one last time. We became some sort of weird, extremely complicated family while we were here, and we're about to go through a fairly sloppy divorce. I don't bring up this unfortunate truth to make everyone sad and weepy. I say it because it's sometimes hard to grasp the magnitude of an occasion, and if there is ever a time we might wish we had lived a little more in the moment, it may very well be this one. So here comes the mandatory inspirational encouragement. Get those email addresses from friends who you're afraid to ask. If kids are still even emailing these days, probably Twitter or Foursquare, who the hell knows anymore. Tell that special someone, or something, we don't judge at Gunn High School, how much he or she, or it, means to you. Take an extra picture or two, even if it has to turn into an extra 40 because your mother has some kind of glitchy trigger finger reflex. This is it. After this, we're done. Onwards and upwards, to greater glory, to lives of infinite potential, probably. In the end, this whole experience is bitter, and it is sweet. I wish there were a word for that. Above all, it is momentous, and it should be savored, long and hard. That's what she said. With apologies for the mildly vulgar innuendo, I submit that nothing really fits the end of high school better than such a joke. Because when I squint just right and look back on these 4 years, I see a time filled not by stints of 10 AP tests in 2 weeks, but by a great chance, maybe the last chance, to just forget everything once in a while and be a kid. I hope we all can take the perspective to remember high school like that. This change, this divorce, is hard, really hard. And we could all use some happy memories, some touching memories, maybe even some crazy memories to hold close as we move on. But tragically, inevitably, with those memories in hand to keep a piece of us in high school forever, move on we will. Thank you.